Hello everyone, and welcome to Zelda Matters, the live stream call-in show where we take your questions and topics and discuss them. Like I said, this is a call-in show, which means that any one of you watching this can actually come on this stream joining us to talk about anything Zelda. Now, if you want, you can also post text questions using the YouTube comments or tweet at us using the hashtag Zelda Matters. To use the... Wow, hold on. Jeez, I'm having this stream on and I just heard myself and it got super weird. I'm Hombre de Mundo, hosting, and with me today is the lovely Amanda Van Heil.
Hey everybody.
So for any of you who wants to join the live stream, all you have to do is click the link in the YouTube description. So we do take text questions as well, but we really do prefer guests coming on here and talking to us face to face. I think that's just so much nicer. So what have you been up to, Amanda? Have you been smashing?
Yeah, smashing and eating a bunch of Thanksgiving leftovers. I think they're finally all gone. I had the rest of the pie today. But yeah, pretty much smashing, getting my butt kicked by Cody.
I can beat Cody. Cody's no match for me.
You're the only person that can beat Cody.
Well, yeah, I got Shovel Knight. I've been playing that game.
I have never played that, and I've been very curious about it.
It's a lot of fun. So I wanna thank my friend and former podcast host Tess, who gave it to me. She's awesome.
Oh, yay.
So we got a couple of Twitter questions that we're gonna head right into before, hopefully, we get a couple of guests on the line. So the first question is from Mr. Bottoms from Twitter, who asks, will the Link in the new game be female? And I like this question, and the reason I really wanted to respond to it when I saw it was because you thought that Link from the Wii U trailer was female when that obviously was not the case.
It looked like a girl. I swear there were curves. There were curves, okay?
Well, there aren't. So, but I mean, here's the thing, though. Here's the reason that even if you thought you saw curves, it doesn't matter, because what Anuma said was that he never said that the person in the trailer was Link. But if Link was female, it would still be Link, wouldn't it?
Well, right. I wasn't saying that it was a girl Link. I just thought it was just some girl.
Some girl, yeah. Like, I thought when he said that, like, maybe it could be something like a relative of Link's, or if they wanted to make it really intriguing, like maybe an imposter or a clone or something like that. That would be kind of cool.
Or maybe it's his twin sister.
No. But to answer Mr. Bono's question, no, I don't think that Link will be female anytime soon. And I do think that just because Link is a pretty established character. I mean, yeah, sure, Link is different in every game. That's a given. So there's nothing that says that Link needs to be a specific way. But Link is still rather similar in every title, so I don't think they'll make him female unless there's a really good reason for it. And another reason for that, I think, is because there are already a lot of cool female characters that you can use to do stuff. I mean, there's Impa, Zelda, Sheik. Just look at Hyrule Warriors. There's a ton of them. So I don't think there needs to be a female Link. I don't see what purpose that would be. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, we have a solid idea of who Link is, and even though it is a different one, it's still the same concept the whole time. There's still just those core values to Link, or core traits to Link, and I don't really see the point of just switching it up all of a sudden and have a girl Link.
Yeah. So it appears that we do have our first guest coming in, and it is Robert, you have been here before, have you?
Yes,
Hey,
twice.
Robert.
So,
Oh, welcome back. What's on your mind?
well, before I get into the thing, my topic, I want to go ahead and look back at what Amanda just said about Link being female. Amanda, did you say you think Link was a female in that trailer or not?
No. I thought it was. I thought it was
Okay.
very girly. I did not think that was a
Okay.
girl Link. I thought that if
Because-
it wasn't Link, then it was just some girl, just
All right.
maybe twin sister or something.
All right. I was gonna say kind of like Ariel in Wind Waker, but I was gonna say
Right,
if you did
like
say
that.
that, I was gonna say Link is a man, duh. But
I see what you did there.
I guess I was wrong, but all right. So, you know what? I had one topic that I was thinking about going over, and actually, up until 5 minutes ago, I was thinking, oh, that's the only topic I was going to have. I actually want to not do that topic and think about this. Earlier in the week, or last weekend, I tweeted out, what if Zelda U was a Zelda remake? Now, I'm sure that's just crazy talk. It's probably not that. I almost guarantee there would be a lot more press over it if that were the case. But what are your thoughts on a Zelda remake? We've never had a remake of either Zelda or Zelda 2. So, do you think a Zelda remake would work?
Right, so yeah, just for clarification, when you say Zelda remake, you mean the original
The original,
NES,
the
Legend of
original
Zelda,
NES,
yeah.
yes. Mm-hmm.
I've talked about this a bunch, not in regards to Zelda U, perhaps, but I think that it would be a really cool thing to do. And, I mean, for one, they're making plenty of remakes, so it's not like it would be unreasonable for them to make an original Legend of Zelda remake. But the main reason I think it would be a really cool idea is because there is so much fleshing out you could do. I love the original Legend of Zelda. It's really cool, and it's not like it's lacking, but I see it more as there's a lot of potential to flesh things out.
Yeah, I mean, it would be an open world Zelda. I mean, Zelda is known for being open world, especially the first incarnation was nothing but open world. You could go to any dungeon anytime you wanted. You're probably going to die immediately upon getting there. You might not even be able to get in, but the point is you could get there. So I really like that. So I'd like to see that sometime. But unfortunately, that's not going to be Zelda U. What do you think, Amanda?
I could actually. Well, I know it wouldn't be Zelda U, but thinking of how they could remake it, I really like the way they've redone like the recent Pokemon that just was re-released or remade or whatever, the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I really like the way they did that because it just brought it to life. It really feels like I'm playing a new game, and since I haven't played Sapphire since high school, I don't remember a lot of it, so it brings a whole new experience to it, and it smooths everything up. And I think if they did something along those lines with the original games, then there would be some pretty cool potential for it.
All right.
Yeah, and I think that the main thing is they could do it and it wouldn't even be considered a remake because the change would be so
drastic, so major.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it would basically be a 3D game that has, I mean, essentially the same plot. I'm not even going to say the same plot. I'm going to say the same sort of plot setting, the same setup, because there was barely any story to the original Legend of Zelda. There was basically, all right, here's the premise, go.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
in fact, a lot of players didn't even know there was a plot because it wasn't like today where there's cutscene. You're sitting here for 30 minutes like, huh, I bet he's the bad guy, isn't he? So yeah. All right.
Yeah, there was basically a start screen, and you were told like, "Oh, Ganon's evil, and he did some stuff. Go."
Yeah, he did some stuff. Go get him, Link. I need you to get Ganon. No. All right. So, if you have a bit more time, I have one other topic that I want to go over real quick.
Sure.
So I recently interviewed Gerard the Completionist, and one question that I had for him actually made him stumble for a bit, mainly because this question came out of nowhere. And that question was along this premise. Miyamoto once said, I wouldn't say that I've ever made a bad game per se, but a game I think we could have done better with, or more with, was Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. The first part of this two-part question is, have you guys ever played Zelda 2?
I played it briefly. I did not do very well with it.
Same.
So I don't have really anything I can say.
All right. Well, if you had anything that you think, from what you've heard or anything, how would you have improved the game, if with anything?
Made it more
Okay.
user friendly.
Yeah,
True.
that's one thing. And so I would actually ask our gatekeeper Humulos to come in here just briefly because he loves Zelda 2. I
Oh,
don't
this
like
will be great. You know what? I want to hear this. This is
Okay,
interesting.
okay, so this is one of the things that we argue about a lot because I don't like. I played Zelda 2 for an hour or two. I really tried it. I want to beat this game. I want to enjoy this game, but I don't enjoy this game. I don't like it. It's dumb.
Same here. Somewhat. I like the music though. Don't get me wrong. But all right. So Humulus is here, I suppose. I see.
Heck yeah.
Hello.
All right.
What's up,
So
you guys?
okay.
I couldn't
he
stand
wants
by
to-
with this
You are
nonsense.
here to defend your love child.
I couldn't stand by as you people are just saying that you don't know anything about Zelda 2 and you want to try talking about it. Let me tell you about Zelda 2.
All right. Let's hear it.
Repeat the question.
All right, so here we go. Here's the premise. Miyamoto once said, I wouldn't say that I've ever made a bad game per se, but a game I think we could have done more with was Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. Main point is, how do you feel the game could have been improved? Or, in your opinion, does the game even need to be improved?
Okay, so here's the thing. I think that there are definitely ways to prove it. There's not ever any game that's going to be 100% perfect, and Zelda to that. However, it's definitely not a game that's as neat as a lot of people think it is. It's different as far as Zelda games go, but I think that I don't think that it would ever really be remade for sure, especially because they already kind of gutted it, took what they need from it, and put it into the rest of the series. Because if you look at Ocarina of Time, for example, that was where we really first saw the influences from Zelda 2 get made. Like that's where we saw everything come in, and not only just the same enemies and same names, but they reintroduced a more advanced fighting style, and they reintroduced more magic spells, and which they did put in Link to the Past, but really went more towards that direction in Ocarina of Time. And then by the time we got to Twilight Princess and Minish Cap and games like that, we started having different sword skills again, just like we did in Zelda 2.
All right.
So I think that the game itself, I don't think it'll ever be remade. As far as an improvement goes, honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and enter to everyone on this one and say that the only improvement that can be made is make it more accessible to new players by decreasing the difficulty a little bit, but not as a forced thing, though. I would like there to still be the original mode that it was to play, because despite what you may think about Zelda 2, it was one of the greatest action games on the original Nintendo just because of its incredibly advanced fighting system that it had for the time. I mean, when you look at it, and you have other games out at the time that had, you had Punch.
TMNT.
Yeah, which, I mean, don't get me wrong. TMNT was cool and all. Don't get me wrong, but it didn't have anything like a Dark Nut fight. When you're fighting a Dark Nut in Zelda 2, or rather an Iron Knuckle fight, I get those two confused. But when you're fighting an Iron Knuckle in Zelda 2, it's like you have to be calculating, you have to be precise, you have to do everything exactly right, or else you are going to get killed. And
The
leveling
Iron
up
Knuckles
doesn't help
deserves
you.
a game just to itself, to be honest. That thing is brutal. All right. Before I go, I have this question. We'll end off here. We'll see which one is better. So, guys, Zelda or Zelda 2 remake?
Obviously a Zelda remake, and I say that just because there's a lot of potential in it. Even though I would like to enjoy a remake of Zelda 2, I just see a lot more potential in the first game than the second one.
All right.
I'd like to see a Zelda 2 remake just because I want to actually give it a chance. I've played the original Zelda, and it's great, and I feel like if they did flesh it out, all they would do is just make a lot of the really purists angry, and maybe Zelda 2, first of all, less likely to make people angry. Which I don't care if it does, but less people to have to listen to whining. But Zelda 2, I'd like to try it.
All right, better than a Zelda wristwatch remake. But all right, thank you guys.
Those are fair points. All right, Robert, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again. See ya. All right, cool. So for those of you who just joined midway, this is a live stream call-in show, and you can actually join this live stream yourself, like Robert here just did. all you need to do is click the link in the YouTube description, and that will take you to Humulos, our Gatekeeper for the week, and then you can come in here and talk about remakes or Adventure Link or what have you. That was a good discussion.
It's pretty interesting.
So
we don't talk about Zelda
we do have a second guest incoming. So for all those of you who have texted us questions on Twitter or in the YouTube comments, we do give special priority to people who come on here. So don't be discouraged if we don't answer your tweets or your YouTube questions. It's just that people who come on here, we really appreciate it. So we give them priority. So while we wait for Humulos to patch our new guest through, we're going to take another question here. So let's see here. I don't know who made this. I think... Anyone, someone asks about... Oh, actually, here we go. Thomas Anderson from Twitter. I would like to hear your thoughts on what he says is a much-needed normal mode and hard mode from the get-go. So basically difficulty modes in Zelda. What do you think?
I've never been a fan of difficulty modes. I've always just...
Okay, you are wrong.
Oh! I'm not. I'm really not.
All right, make your case.
Okay, I don't know. I just like to play it and then play through it, and I like it as hard as it's going to get. I don't like it to be like, okay, we're going to do it again, but this time it's going to be harder, because I just don't see the point. If it's going to be harder the second time around, make it like that the first time. I'd like to go ahead and have the challenge to start with, because then if I feel like I did it on normal mode and didn't do it on hard mode, I feel like I'm totally wimping out.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's how I feel. I get where they're coming from. I think I don't know if it's Miyamoto or Aonuma or both that said that they wanted to have sort of one game that everyone can get into. The fact of the matter is that doesn't work. That is it's a very ideological way of looking at things, and I feel like they're sort of denying the reality of the situation, because there are gamers who have played Zelda for years and years and like the challenge that it brings, and there are newcomers, and you can't put them both on the same level. I mean, maybe you can. Like, if you have a really masterful game with a great learning curve, then sure, you can achieve that, but it's tricky. And an easy way to sort of get around that problem is difficulty settings. Difficulty settings are relatively easy to program. They don't take that much time. It takes a bit more time testing, but it's not like it's a very big effort to do. And it's something like, if you up the difficulties, you'll get damaged more, or you will find less recovery hearts or rupees or something like that. And it's for people like me who went through Wind Waker, didn't die once. Not once. And that is not okay. It just simply isn't. It's not that it takes the fun out of it. Well, it can take the fun out of it, but it did, because Zelda is fun anyway. But it could be so much more fun. It was more challenging. All right, so we have a guest. This is Alex from the team, actually.
Hey, Alex.
You were hosting last week, so welcome back.
Yes, I did.
What's on your mind?
Thank you. All right, so I had a thought earlier this morning, and I wanted to bring this out there. So Mario Maker is coming out pretty soon, where you can create your own Mario levels. I was wondering whether or not you thought that if this goes well, maybe that will translate to Zelda. Because I know online there are a lot of Legend of Zelda fan-created games, and there are things online where you can create your own Zelda game. And so I wonder what your thoughts are on maybe Nintendo jumping in on that with Zelda.
That's a really good question, one that I haven't really thought about. Amanda, do you have any?
I haven't thought about it before, because yeah, that is a good question. I could see if they were to do it, I think the only ones that would really benefit from it would be the Link to the Past style games, because it's more it's flat. I guess is the best way to describe it.
It's more flexible.
Right.
I think this could work really well for something like a Hyrule Warriors type game where you have smaller maps. It could also work really well for just not necessarily overworld stuff, but just dungeon design. And also then, like you said, 2D will be so much easier. So if they did it for a game like A Link to the Past, not even A Link Between Worlds, but because that game was 3D.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they could. It just depends on how accessible they want it to be. So if
It'd
they
be
want,
cool if they did it like a dungeon builder in the style of, for example, just the original Legend of Zelda, even just to play around with the puzzles and all of that. That might be a cool concept.
I think if they did it in something like A Link to the Past or the Minish Cap, a true 2D Zelda game, that would be the most accessible format that they could do it in. And it would be a lot of fun, especially if you could send it over to your friends and because then you have a lot of more content coming in. So I'm definitely in favor of that idea. And I would even be in favor of it if it was for 3D games. It's just that it would be maybe it would be more time-consuming and maybe a bit harder to make a really good dungeon, and therefore it wouldn't be as popular.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Oh, cool.
So, yeah, that's what we have to say on it. So, thank you.
Right, you're welcome.
We'll see you around someday.
All right, see you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
All right, so it seems that we do have the guest who didn't appear before trying to come in again. Sometimes we do get technical difficulties, and if so, we'll just have to work around it. So we'll see if he comes in this time. But yeah, I think, speaking of dungeon builders, I mean, we're making our own Zelda fan game on Zelda Universe,
right.
Haven. So we've been doing quite a bit of dungeon designing and dungeon building, and it is a lot of fun. And I can definitely see a game like that working, especially with things like basic switches, bridges, block puzzles.
Especially like Nintendo really likes to be innovative and get like the family involved in that sort of thing. So it would be a good one to like play with each other.
Yeah, but I think the problem would be to make it something like I don't know, making it really deep and accessible at the same time, because even Mario Maker did get some criticism for not being broad enough. I mean, there are tons of Super Mario Brother hacks and mods and things. You see these really insane levels that people have built, and I mean, of course, they have more freedom than Mario Maker will offer, but it's not accessible. So it just they have to make something that is accessible and that's very easy to get into. But once you start digging deeper, I think they really need to have those more advanced options and features. Just they can't be there from the start so that they clutter up and make it confusing for newcomers. So there's a lot of interaction design that they have to put into it to make it a truly viable piece of software to sell.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, because if it gets too much, it's just going to turn players off, and that's the last thing they need to happen.
Yeah. All right. So I'm getting words from Humulos in the control room that we are having troubles getting our guests in, but we'll see what happens. We'll take another. Should we take another?
We'll do another Twitter question.
In the meantime, I actually want to see if we have any YouTube questions, because you can leave questions both on Twitter and on YouTube. Let's see here. Do you think that Zelda RPG is a good idea? This is from Andrew Gibson on YouTube.
It's Zelda. and can be arguably an action RPG. Does he mean like it's like a
I think
turn-based
like
level up
like a
thing?
proper RPG, something in the
Okay,
style of Final Fantasy
right.
or
I mean, it could be done, but that's not what Zelda is.
Yay, we got a guest. You
Yay,
can now
okay.
speak more, Amanda. This is the Flavor. Welcome to Zelda Matters.
Hi.
Hi, sorry.
There we go. So what's up? What do you have? What do you have in store for us?
Lots.
All right. Well, start with the first thing that comes to mind. What would you like to discuss?
What are y'all's favorite puzzle, like, of all time?
Oh, that is a loaded question. It's yeah, that will be really difficult to answer. I'm just gonna I don't think I can name any specific puzzle without thinking long and hard about it. So I'm gonna let Amanda think about it and just gonna commend A Link Between Worlds for its genius puzzle designs overall. Like some of the dungeons in Link Between Worlds were amazing. I especially like the what is it? The Dark Palace?
I love Dark Palace. That one was amazing.
Yeah, and I really good puzzles they had in the ice dungeon, but it was really frustrating too.
Oh, yes, I agree. That game had me cussing it out when I got to the ice cavern.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the Thieves' Hideout. I don't know, it was just fun, trying to get them all out and.
Very puzzly, but it was cool. It was a great dungeon.
Yeah.
For that. Flavor, do you have a favorite puzzle?
I have two that I've been thinking about. Have y'all played Phantom Hourglass?
I haven't tried that one, actually.
Okay, I played Phantom Hourglass once.
Okay, do you remember that?
Do
Do you remember that puzzle where you had to like close your DS and the
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that one actually. That is actually a great. I wouldn't say it's a puzzle as much as a feature, but no, it was great. I knew to do that.
I closed my
because
DS
I
and I got
trailer.
frustrated with the game, and then I opened it and I solved it, and I'm like, whoa, that didn't make sense.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying the same thing, that they were really frustrated. They had no idea what to do, and then they closed it, and it's like, wait, what? I saw it in the trailers, maybe it was in a review or something, but I saw it beforehand, so I kind of knew to do it. But it's a really cool thing, and I wish that more games kind of incorporated that. But the Phantom Hourglass in general was really great at using the DS's features. But that kind of puzzle, that kind of event, it was similar to, I forget which game this was. I think it was like an X-Men game on Sega. One of my game design teachers told me this. He was working on the game where they had this, where there was a computer that was about to blow, and it just said press the reset button. And they actually programmed because you could program the reset button on the console. So, and that frustrated a lot of players because no one would think to press a reset on the console to proceed in the game. So no, but people who come up with those sorts of things, really clever.
That's
I
pretty
enjoy
brilliant.
that a lot. Brilliant or devious, whatever you want.
There you go. Brilliantly devious.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else for us, or is that it?
I was just going to like maybe chat and give my 2 cents about any opinions or topics that y'all might have had.
Yeah, sure. We can take. We are running short of time, but we can take another question. Sure, why not? Stick with us. Let's see here. I want to take a short one. There are a lot of good and long questions that we received, but we're kind of running out of time. So, all right, let's just do this one shortly. This is from Genald Race from Twitter, who asks us, what makes a Legend of Zelda game a Legend of Zelda game? So, Amanda, if you
What
can,
makes?
it's a loaded question, but if you can do it in 30 seconds,
In 30 seconds or less, what makes a Zelda game is a strong adventure. You've got to have your hero with a set goal and some cool people to meet along the way. And you explore. And cool dungeons. That's a Zelda game.
Exploration. You gotta have the exploration.
Yeah, I think you do need exploration, but as we've seen with, for instance, Skyward Sword, it can be very linear too and still work out. I know a lot of people aren't fans of Skyward Sword, and I totally understand that. Because there wasn't much free exploration. You just had to like go here, oh now go here, and now go back here.
There was a lot more than people give it credit for, because you could really fly around on like all the islands and stuff and play around and do like all the goddess block quests and things like that.
Yeah, I mean there was some good stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know. It felt a little lackluster. I like A Link Between Worlds open world style a lot more. So yeah, I totally agree on the exploration part. I don't think it needs to be on the level of Skyrim, where you can go like anywhere and just do a bunch of stuff, doing whatever, like those kind of open world sandbox games. But yeah, I do think that you kind of need to have this world to explore. My favorite game is Ocarina of Time, and one of the reasons is because the world was not only fairly large, I mean for its time, but it also had a lot of content. It had different people. It had Gorons and the Soras and the Gerudo, and there was a lot to discover in that game. And you went and talked to people, and you're like, oh, there's a Goron town here. I want to know more about this. That I felt was a bit lackluster in Skyward Sword, for instance, because yeah, you had the little digging people, or the
Little people, yeah.
Yeah, and there was like, oh, we're greedy and we're looking for treasure. All right, like that's an archetype, I guess, but it wasn't very interesting. The Gorons were interesting, Soras were interesting because they actually, they felt like a living, breathing part of the world. So yeah. I don't know, Flavor. What do you have to say about that?
Miyamoto said himself that he created the Zelda game based off of him as a kid exploring the woods and exploring caves and stuff, and that's what it should be. That's what it used to be. And then they got so interested in what people found instead of how they found it, and you know, it's like when it came to sequels, they were more caring about golden gauntlets with spikes, diamond encrusted stuff, instead of spending 20 minutes looking for a treasure chest that ended up having a blue rupee in it. Because like I like that better than having a treasure chest at the end of the hallway that can easily be opened up.
Yeah, so I take it you're one of the more old school for the win people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think that there is a good balance to be struck. I think they did a really good job of it in A Link Between Worlds. I think Spirit Tracks also to an extent. And I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do in terms of exploration, open world, and having a really cool story with lots of content in Zelda U. And I think we all are. So, thank you, the Flavor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. And
Thanks,
to
Hombre.
everyone who were watching. We are gonna wrap it up here. Join us next week, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to call in if you can, like the Flavor did, like Alex did, like Robert did. We love to have you on and talk about whatever Zelda matter that you see fit. So thanks again, and catch us next week. I'm Hombre de Mundo, your one and only man of world. Over and out.
Night, guys.